Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Shuana Tucker, Chief Talent Officer for the State Department of Education. I'm here today with my colleague and Bureau Chief, Chris Todd. Before we begin this session, know that we hope that you and your families are remaining healthy and safe during this health pandemic we are faced with. Despite these challenges, we would like to recognize the great work being done by districts to meet the needs of students, families, and staff members while we rapidly adjust to the new normal. It is our goal here in the Talent Office to develop guidance and flexibilities to communicate with districts to best meet their needs and that of educators as a whole.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you again for joining us. This is Chris Todd. Our session goals today are to provide updates to district HR and central office leadership regarding talent office efforts to support districts during this pandemic. Specifically, we're going to look to show you how to navigate the Bureau of Educator Standards and Certification webpage to find past, current, and forthcoming resources. We will review flexibility measures that have been established at this point to support districts, specifically around their ability to process commonly used district forms, and we will provide some additional guidance regarding the team program, educator evaluation, and the non-renewal of non-tenured teachers. All information regarding talent office efforts to support districts can be located on the Bureau of Educator Standards and Certification landing page. District employees are able to access this page from multiple ways, including going to the website listed underneath the title of the slide. Additionally, you can access this by going to the CSDE's main landing page and looking at educator certification and preparation links. Once you're on the landing page, you can access COVID-19 specific resources and updates by either using the button listed underneath our message on the main landing page, or you can use the table on the left-hand side of the screen, which will bring you directly to our resources page. Once on the resources page, you will find that our COVID-19 resources and updates have been organized into 3 distinct categories: applicants and certified educators, district resources, and educator preparation programs. As additional resources are developed, they will be housed here in addition to the CSDE's centralized COVID-19 page for superintendents and district leaders. As the pandemic continues, the Bureau of Educator Standards and Certification is working diligently to create temporary flexibilities for districts, applicants, and teacher candidates. A large part of this effort has been to allow for the electronic submission of forms to our Bureau from an authorized district designees. To support these efforts, all district forms have been converted to fillable PDF files for easier communication between the applicant and the district, and then subsequently the district and the Bureau. These forms can continue to be printed and signed as they always have been if your district has been able to maintain that process remotely. However, we recognize and know that not all HR district personnel are realistically able to maintain that process during these times. As such, we felt it was important to provide an alternate approach. At this point, all forms, such as the ED 177 form, have been updated into fillable PDFs and are located in our traditional location under District Resources and Forms. In addition to the ED 177 form, we have updated our ED 126 Successful Service form, our ED 170 and 172 forms for temporary 90-day certificates, our ED 175 Long-Term Substitute Request forms, our ED 186 emergency coaching permits, and our ED 199 resident educator certificates. As an example, we will walk through the process for a typical district request, the long-term substitute authorization, or ED 175 form. As with most forms, you will find that the submission process will be a simple 3-part process. First, the candidate will complete the first part of the application, parts 1 through 3, and then forward the form electronically to the districts. However, it will be incredibly important to verify that the applicant has checked the I agree box and has inserted or typed a signature and date into the form. We will not be able to process any incomplete forms, and as a result, it will delay processing. Once the district receives completed forms from the applicant, the district completes parts 4 and 5 of the application as they normally would and submits the entire ED 175 form along with a copy of the applicant's transcripts, a rationale for why this candidate is the best fit for the position, and the recruitment efforts to date to fill the vacant position. Finally, the entire application package will be submitted directly to our email address, teacher.cert@ct.gov, with ED 175 district submission in the subject line. We would ask that with each specific form submission, you include the name of that form in the subject line to help facilitate quicker distribution electronically with our consultants.
The attached memorandum dated March 26, 2020 is titled Temporary Extension of Educator Certificates and Coaching Permits. This guidance comes from the Bureau of Educator Standards and Certification, stating that the expiration date of all initial and provisional certificates, including interim and 5-year coaching permits with expiration dates between March 15, 2020 and December 31st, 2020 will be extended for 1 year from the date of original expiration. This extension does not apply to permits and/or authorizations such as 90-day certificates, long-term substitute authorizations, durational shortage area permits, known as DSAPs, charter school educator permits, and emergency coaching permits, nor does it apply to resident educator certificates. Educators currently serving under any of the aforementioned permits and authorizations will be able to seek renewal at the time of expiration in accordance with existing policy and procedures. Educators may continue to renew professional educator certificates online or by mail at no cost to the applicant in accordance with existing policy and procedure. Additionally, 5-year coaching permit holders are reminded it is their professional responsibility to maintain current first aid and CPR certifications. The Bureau of Educator Standards and Certification has already updated the new expiration dates with the Connecticut Educator Certification System known as CECS. New certificates will be printed and mailed to those educators impacted by the change once we are able to return to our office. The March 20th memorandum. All components of the Educator Evaluation and P have been waived. This includes teachers, administrators, and support staff. Opportunities for professional learning and career development can and should continue to the greatest extent possible. We recommend that communication between evaluators, educators, and bargaining unit representatives continue to take place regarding the status of existing plans. Information will be forthcoming as to how to support and recognize educators as they work to meet the needs of our students. The memorandum dated April 13, 2020 provided guidance and flexibilities regarding non-renewals and tenure. In sum, districts may proceed with the non-renewal process on the statutory schedule of May 1st if the process had already begun prior to this date in accordance with your collective bargaining agreement. Non-renewal notices may be sent in April of 2020, consistent with this memorandum. However, in cases where a teacher does request a formal hearing, the board, local hearing officer, or subcommittee may provide an extension up to 90 days for all state statutory and regulation requirements related to non-renewal hearings. For superintendents considering non-renewal but had not made a final determination prior to May 1st, 2020, they are allowed the following flexibilities. First, they may send an extension notification to non-tenured teachers prior to May 1st via email regarding the extension of the probationary period for up to 1 school year. Districts are encouraged to come to an agreement with teachers and their bargaining unit representatives regarding the length of contractual extension. This allows teachers ample time to demonstrate progress and performance while also allowing districts the flexibility to non-renew mid-year, December 1st, 2020, or by the end of the school year, May 1st, 2021. Please be mindful that written notification of a non-renewal or extension in this memo is defined as an email sent to the teacher's district email address and the teacher's bargaining unit representative's email address. In no instance shall a teacher be considered to attain tenure when they have been notified of a non-renewal or extension on May 1st, 2020, and the emails contain specific language to this effect. The Bureau has been a leader in the region in this area, proactively addressing the unique challenges created by the CSDE leadership team has been able to pass several executive orders providing the commissioner with the ability to meet these needs. Chris will now share with you these additional flexibilities.
Thank you, Dr. Tucker. The following flexibility measures have been put into place specifically addressing clinical placements, EdTPA, and opportunities for candidates to pursue their career while testing centers are currently closed. All clinical, fieldwork, and student teaching requirement hours and length have been waived as a result of this waiver. Additionally, EdTPA portfolio submissions, while the department is asking that all those who are able to submit their EdTPA portfolios continue to do so, the cut score for spring 2020 cohort EdTPA portfolios will be waived, and each EPP has been given the flexibility to waive the submission of EdTPA portfolios for those candidates who were unable to successfully complete their portfolio. Additionally, a memo dated April 15th went to deans, directors, and certification officers of all EPPs explaining that the Bureau has expanded eligibility for a 3-year non-renewable interim certificate with a testing deferral for all spring 2020 candidates who have been unable to complete their testing as a result of the closure of national testing centers. It is important for candidates with questions around either of these flexibilities to work directly with faculty and leadership at their respective ed program institution. Additionally, it will be important that districts start to think about the critical role that the team program and team mentorship will play this coming fall as members of the 2020 cohort are hired, given that they may have had truncated clinical placement experiences or student teaching experiences.
This slide, the final slide, shares the talent office staff, their respective divisions, and contact information. At any time, if you have a question, please feel free to contact them. We hope this presentation has been informative and provided you with needed guidance with your daily responsibilities as we continue to educate and inform our staff, students, and families. Thank you for your time.